Welcome to Powerful Grace. My name is Yolanda Latham. I'm so excited that you are here with me today. Today, we're going to talk about 7 habits of highly effective entrepreneurial moms. Now, you may be familiar with this phrase. It is a play on the book by Stephen Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It is an extremely successful and very popular book full of great information. And they actually have editions for kids and teens as well. So it's great for all ages, young to old. I highly suggest that you have it in your library. It's a great book to reference to and a pretty easy read. Now, I'm not going to actually talk about the 7 habits of highly effective people from Stephen Covey's book, but instead I'm going to focus on the Proverbs 31 woman passage. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is Proverbs 31, 10 through 31, also titled as The Woman of Noble Character. I absolutely love this passage because I think it empowers women of all personalities, of all strengths, of all weaknesses. It is one of my favorite passages in the Bible. So we're going to dive into it today. Now, I'm not going to read it to you, but I do suggest that if you're not going to press pause and read it right now, that you go ahead and afterwards read it. It takes less than 5 minutes and it's just so beautifully written. So if you're wanting to learn more, stay tuned. The first hack, I actually wouldn't necessarily call it a full habit, but it's definitely, I think, something important for Christian women to uphold. Um, it's actually addressed in the first chapter of Proverbs. It's all talking about fearing the Lord. And this passage also mentions it in verse 30, where the Proverbs 31 woman fears the Lord and she is praised. Now, there is a lot of successful and beautiful women out there who do not fear the Lord. However, having the fear of God keeps us in order. It keeps us restrained. It holds an accountability to our children and our families, as well as an accountability to Him. There's a different accountability when we're fearing the Lord as opposed to not fearing the Lord. The second habit is rising early. Now, don't roll your eyes at me. I know some of y'all are already rolling your eyes, and I probably have lost you there. But hear me out. In the chapter, in verse 15, it says that she gets up while it is still night. Rising early doesn't mean that we have to fill that time with more and more tasks, nor should we have to. It means that we're starting our day off right. It means that we are getting up earlier. It has actually been scientifically proven that when you get up earlier, you tend to be more productive. So, getting up early doesn't mean that we are adding 10 more tasks to our days. It just means that we have this quiet time alone for us to prioritize and to get ready for today. In today's world, this time can mean that our kids are not up, our husband isn't asking us a million questions, our phone isn't reading with texts, emails, calls. We have quiet time where we can really focus on whatever task we want to do before the craziness of life wakes up and begins for the day. Now, back when this passage was written, I can imagine that she was rising early to not really help herself, but to help her family have a successful day. In fact, in the second part of the verse, it states that she prepares food for her family and she portions it out for her female servants. So not only was she rising early to make sure that her family was going to have a successful day, she was also preparing for her staff to have a very successful day as well. So she was watching out for others. This was her time to make sure that everything was in order, not for herself, but for the people that she loved and that she cared about. Now, if you're like me, you probably really struggle up getting up early. And here's some tips that I have found to really help me. When I wake up early and begin working out within that first hour that I wake up, I feel so energized and I found myself to be more productive on those days. But when I can't go and work out within the first hour, turning a light when immediately get up kind of helps get me, I don't know what it is, but it helps get me going. And it's harder for me to go back to bed and just to fall asleep. I'm sure there's probably some scientific reasoning behind that, but I've found by doing those two things that I tend to have much more success in my day. Number 3 is all about taking opportunities. I remember growing up about how much hate my mom got because she was a working mom. Like I lived in a culture where women just didn't work. But my mom worked to help support our family. She's not an entrepreneur by any means. We actually really did struggle financially, and we had a few times where we thought we were going to be homeless. But she and my dad did whatever she could or whatever they could to make sure that my brothers and I had everything that we needed and make sure that we were able to excel at our goals and our dreams in life. I saw so much hate from the community to her about working that I feared to take opportunities myself. And even when I did take an opportunity, I started receiving similar hate. And I started creating an insecurity about it and thinking that that was not where I needed to be. Even just a few months ago, I doubted about being a working mom. And that's actually where I stumbled again onto this passage of Proverbs 31. And God showed me quickly that if it's in our his will, if it is what he wants us to do, then we are doing great things. And it put my mind and my heart at ease that even though I wanted to spend more time with my baby girl, that what I was doing is for her. Not only am I doing it for the glory of God, I'm doing it to build her a better life. In verse 16, it says that she considers a field and she buys it. She looked for an opportunity to start a new business or to grow her business or expand her business. But the second part of that verse, it says that out of her earnings, I'm just going to stop there for a second. Out of her earnings. This tells me immediately that she has earned money for these opportunities, probably opportunities that she was currently doing at that time. And whatever she got from there, she was saving up and putting in investments. As a mom, I can imagine that she wasn't doing it for herself. She was probably doing it for her family to make sure that her family had everything that they need and that they would be successful and that her children would have something to have when they took over the family business or they were grown and had property of their own. It also talked about how she helped the less fortunate to her. So not only did she take opportunities for financial success for her and her family, but she also took opportunities to better her community. Who wants to live in a bad community? It's just so awesome to know that she took the time to better her community, as I think we should as well. Habit number 4 is all about being consistent. And man, was this woman, was she consistent? One thing that I noticed when I was studying this passage, the very first time when I was studying this passage, is that a lot of the verbs ended in S. Brings, selects, works, gets, provides, portions, earnings, holds, grass, extension, watches. And those are only to name some of the verbs. These words don't mean that whatever she was doing, she did in the past. She did those things. It meant that she was doing them right then. She was doing them at present time. And she probably was going to continue them in the future. Her consistency not only led to her success, but it also led to her husband's success as well. In verse 11, it says that her husband had full confidence in her and lacked nothing of value. Her hard work and consistency brought honor and praise to the city gates. When I was previously reading this, the very first time I was reading this, and when I say very first time, like when I actually was studying it, I didn't know what the city gates meant. So I did some research and I found that it's actually a really like high place, kind of like the city council is what I would imagine it by. But it held really important people. And this woman's husband potentially could have held a position there. And so for her to have value there and to have honor was extremely rare and precious. And she could have even been viewed as higher than her husband. Some people could even argue that her husband was only known because of her doings, not of his. I've heard so many people say that they've tried things and one or two times and they just didn't get the results that they wanted. I wanted you to stop and I want you to think about the consistency of a drip from a faucet. No matter how hard you tried to turn it off, it's just not going to stop dripping, right? Immediately, it probably is going to annoy you. However, over time, that one drip becomes super powerful. So think of canyons. They're not made by one small event at all. They're made by several small events that turn into something grand. All these little events turn into a beautiful masterpiece that God made. So showing up and working every day is what turns results. Don't think you have to be perfect at it either. Learn, implement, evaluate it, and adjust. If you wait to be perfect, you're going to miss the opportunity. You're going to miss the opportunity to learn. You're going to miss the opportunity to grow. And you're going to waste time. Habit number 5 is all about being prepared and making plans. There are many, many, many benefits of being prepared. In our text, it says that this woman prepares food for her family and she makes sure that her servants are fed as well. And if you come from a big family or you have a big family, you know how much preparation it takes into making just the meal, let alone organizing everything in life. It also states that she did not fear the winter coming because they would all be clothed and they had what they needed. She had prepared and was preparing for the future. Being prepared instills confidence. You wouldn't feel confident if you took a test that you did not study for. It's the same in our business. If you don't feel confident, then you're probably not going to be successful in your business right away. Being prepared helps with that. Planning to be prepared also saves time. Just within this very short passage that is written, it's very evident that the Proverbs 31 woman is an extremely busy woman. I mean, we all are, right? So any time that's wasted probably would put a wrench in her success and her family's success as well, especially if it's happening several times. Being prepared also helps build wisdom. Verse 26 states that she speaks with wisdom and faithful instruction on her tongue. She's able to pass on her knowledge to help her children and her friends. She's able to give the guidance because she's prepared for what is to come. She's been able to pass on her knowledge. Number 6 may not be an actual habit, but it's something that's definitely important in life. Verse 20 says that she opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. Earlier in passage, it also states that she provided food for her servants. Being loving to others not only is the proper and decent human thing to do, it can also help you in your business. Somebody may not afford to buy your service or buy your products, but loving them and being a part of a community and being a loving person in a community can actually turn people towards you. You're building relationships naturally, and people are going to start sending you referrals of people they know who may need your service and your products. From there, it grows. Here's my last one. Number 7 is something that we all know we should do, and for some reason, we tend not to do it. As moms, we can forget to take care of ourselves. We tend to put others before us. It's just a natural thing that we do. We spend so much time making sure that everybody else's needs are taken care of that we end up forgetting about our own needs. However, if you are down and out, you're not going to be good for anybody. You may actually just end up crashing and burning, getting overwhelmed, stopping for a really long time, and your success slows down as well. Maybe even stops. Verse 17 states that the Proverbs 31 woman was strong for her task. Now, I really doubt that she went to the gym and she competed in CrossFit every day, but she was a healthy physical person. And your health doesn't necessarily stop at being physical. Mental health is important as well. It's okay to get help if you need that mental help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set boundaries because you are important. Your health is important. You need to be in your top health, not just for your business and for you, but for your family as well. They need you as well. Thank you all so much for watching today. If you would love to learn more about what I do as a business or you would like some business tips, go ahead and follow the link that is down in the description. And you can find those there. Sign up for the email list so you get a reminder of when my podcast and my YouTube or any other goodies that I have come directly first to my email group there. Also, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment here. I would love to hear from you. So please, please, please feel free to share and leave a comment. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye.